Hello, I'm Joshua Alicea, and this is Bioethics. Today I will be discussing can teenagers be competent? First, what is competence? Competence is a person's ability to make and communicate a decision to consent to medical treatment. There are two separate issues here regarding the competency of a teenager. First, what should the standards of such competence be? According to the New York Civil Liberties Union, in order to authorize a treatment independently, a minor must have both the legal right to consent and the capacity to give informed consent. What do we mean by capacity to give informed consent? One of the questions is a patient psychologically capable to make a decision regarding their own health? The second issue regarding competency of a teenager is to what extent can minors meet such standards? Under New York law, the following categories of minors may legally consent to all or much of their own health care, such as pregnant teens, minors with sexually transmitted diseases, minors who are parents, married minors, minors serving in the armed forces, emancipated minors, and incarcerated minors. It is within these guidelines that a minor can prove competency in making their own medical decisions. Which brings us to our first case study. Dana is 17. She goes to a doctor to be treated for genital herpes. Does the doctor need to get Dana's parents' permission before treating her? The answer is no. In the state of New York, a minor has the legal right to consent to health care for sexually transmitted infections. So long as Dana has the capacity to consent, meaning that she understands the risks and benefits of the proposed and alternative treatments, parental consent is not required. Case study number 2 brings us to more depth. This case study comes from Bioethics by Lewis Vaughn, page 239. A 14-year-old male is brought to the ER by his mother for evaluation for altered mental status. His mother reports lethargy and agitation. His physical examination is unremarkable. His neurological examination revealed a disoriented teenager with ataxia, brisk reflexes throughout, reactive pupils, and basically normal throughout. Due to the ongoing epidemic of West Nile virus, his mother suspected that is what it is, and insisted on a spinal tap. An IV is placed and blood work is ordered. As they wait for the results, the doctor interviewed the minor alone as to why the boy didn't believe that it was West Nile virus. Assured that it was confidential, he confessed to buying and taking dextromethorphan. The mother, not knowing about the drug ingestion, continued to be insistent on the spinal tap. In this case study, we have 3 dilemmas, which we will solve. First, who should be allowed to give informed consent? Second, why should the physician regard the 14-year-old as a mature minor? And last, what actions would the physician likely take if she decided to put aside the issue of informed consent and act only in the patient's best interests? Let us begin with who should be allowed to give informed consent. In order to authorize treatment independently, a minor must have both the legal right to consent and the capacity to give informed consent. Hence, since he is a minor, he can't get pregnant, he's not in the armed forces, nor is he incarcerated, his mother reserves the right to give informed consent. Our second dilemma asks, why should the physician regard the 14-year-old as a mature minor? A physician should regard the woman's son as a mature minor because 1, the minor is in fact an older adolescent, which is defined to be a minor who is 14 years and older. And 2, the minor is mature enough to know that he needs to confess to what he did in order to get the necessary care. Now, the last dilemma mentioned is, what actions would the physician likely take if she decided to put aside the issue of informed consent and act only in the patient's best interest? The thing is that the physician already ordered the blood work and is presently awaiting the results. Why not wait for the results to come to confirm the dextromethorphan intoxication? That way, the physician doesn't break confidentiality. And 2, the mother can make a proper decision with informed consent based on empirical evidence, not put her son through unnecessary testing. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. I look forward to your feedback. Cheers.